As the security situation in Iraq continues to deteriorate, China is growing increasingly concerned for the safety of its citizens within the country, many of whom are employed by China's oil companies. According to Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying, there are over 10,000 Chinese employees working in Iraq, most of whom are based in the south, far from the current fighting. As Hua noted, the Chinese workers are concentrated in what she termed relatively safe areas. Nevertheless, the Global Times reported last week that over 1,000 Chinese workers at a northern construction site had been left stranded by the violence. The workers from China Machinery Engineering Corporation had been building a power plant in the city of Samarra, which has seen violent clashes between Iraqi government forces and militants from the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. A report by the China Daily newspaper revealed that one employee of the China National Petroleum Corporation, or CNPC, had been kidnapped from the Halfaya oil field in southeastern Iraq on June the 12th. China's foreign ministry says that the employee has since been released and is safe, though Hua acknowledged that China was preparing to evacuate citizens in areas with a grave security situation. On China's online community, there has been widespread discussion and debate about the safety of the country's citizens in the Middle East. To take a closer look at what they've got to say on the issue, let's cross over to the newsroom and our researcher, Julia Liu. Hi, Julia. Well, we've heard the media reports and we've heard from China's foreign ministry, but what do ordinary Chinese people think about the condition of their fellow citizens in Iraq at the moment?
Hi, Michael. Well, some net users are actually speaking from their own experience. While Chen Xianzhong, who runs his own business in Iraq, has this to say on CYOL.net. There are far fewer Chinese running small businesses in Iraq at the moment. I recently closed my shop, and I'm planning to hire some locals to take care of it while I go back to China and wait for this to blow over. Meanwhile, this poster called Jack has this take on Sohu.com. Well, I'm currently in Iraq, and the situation is much safer than it has been described by some media agencies. It's not that dangerous here, and there's a proper plan of evacuation if things get more dangerous. But still, many net users in China are expressing their concerns for the safety of these people. For example, Dongren Chuchu says on Weibo.com. Well, there are so many Chinese workers in Iraq at the moment, and it would be chaotic if they were all evacuated simultaneously in the event of imminent danger. I think the evacuation should happen as soon as possible.
Okay, well, Julia, it seems that it's not just Chinese civilians in Iraq that are facing danger, as there have actually been quite a few cases of Chinese civilians being kidnapped in other countries in recent years. A report by Tianzhen.com revealed that there have been 13 such cases between 2007 and 2012. So what do Chinese net users have to say about this?
Well, it seems that net users have suggested that there are a wide variety of reasons behind these kidnappings. Or some think it's due to the regional conflicts, like this poster on Jining001.com, who says, well, sometimes Chinese that are kidnapped are just the victims of different warring factions in the region. For example, 2 Chinese telecommunication engineers were kidnapped by the Taliban in 2008 as a bargaining chip to force the government to stop attacking militants. Well, whereas something that is more about Chinese industries' increasing global reach, like this poster who says on Sohu.com. Well, with the growing need of oil, iron ore, and other resources, Chinese enterprises have been expanding their business operations to countries and regions that other investors don't dare to go, such as Iraq, Egypt, and Sudan. Well, it's a great choice when it comes to business, but it also increases the risks for the staff that are sent there. And Zhou Yijun, who is a field journalist from Hong Kong-based Phoenix TV, raises a similar point on her blog about how these Chinese expats are portrayed, saying, well, I've seen many male workers in Iraq who came here alone, leaving their family in China. Well, some foreign media have reported their lifestyle choices in a rather sensationalist manner. And I mentioned these reports to a Chinese who had been working in Iraq for 3 years, and he said he found nothing wrong with coming here alone.
Well, it certainly seems that the trend of Chinese companies sending its workers to dangerous locations isn't about to stop in a hurry. So are there any suggestions from net users on how best to guarantee their safety?
Yes, there are a lot. Well, some net users feel that there are measures that both the companies and expat employees can take by themselves. Well, Shi Hongtao says on dzwww.com. Well, there are very few Chinese companies that provide safety training for their staff. And most of the workers in Iraq don't know what a suicide bomber is and have no idea what to do in emergency. Well, there should also be greater funding for safety protection measures in factories and companies that are based in these regions. And some posters think that a change in attitude is needed as well, like this one from Sohu.com, who says, well, certain Chinese expats love to show off their wealth through gambling and purchasing luxury houses. Well, this gives the impression that Chinese are rich and arrogant, which only attracts kidnappers and increases resentment. And finally, I'd like to wrap up with this comment from Yu Xiao on Baidu.com, who says, I think it would be great if there were some non-governmental organizations that could help Chinese expats abroad. Well, they could hire some retired military personnel to help protect them.
Okay, thanks for that, Julia. And that was China Take researcher Julia Liu with some thoughts on the Chinese citizens currently living and working in Iraq. Next up on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.